Hey, good morning, Devereaux sports fans. It is I, the Gobler. Sitting next to the left is Shrek's little brother, Mr. Slap and Tickle, John Lee. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Pat.
And, of course, sitting on the other side is the one and the only, my tag team partner, Mike Lauer. What's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy? Fist bump for both of you.
Fist pump, no squeeze. Listen, I like to get into a lot of things here, but it seems like when we're on the road here in LA, we are doing things, but here at home, the Phillies are struggling, losing 5 out of 6. Joe Droy don't know what to do with this defense, with the lineup anymore. Freddie Freeman went 0-5 yesterday, but the real Dodgers.
I got that dude on my fantasy baseball team. What the hell?
Yeah,
the mush is in.
The mush is in. So again, yesterday. Look, that just goes to show you, without Freddie Freeman, this Dodgers offense is a lot more dangerous than this Phillies offense. And Mookie Betts went 3 for 3. And can someone explain to me what in the world is Odubel Herrera doing on this team? Because for the life of me, this guy has no fundamental base running. I see my son understands fundamental base running. He's only 9. A lot more than this goofball. He don't know when to run. He runs off base. He's getting picked off. He had a golden opportunity to take the lead of the game, and he screws it up. He does not know fundamental baseball at all. But, Mike, what did you take last night?
What I took last night is that the Phillies are really missing Bryce Harper. That's just it. Like, if you take a look at it, since he's been out of the lineup, they haven't won. And except for the game Zach Wheeler pitched. The offense is not on track at all. We're getting to the part now where it's supposed to be hitting season, and these guys are getting shellacked, and they're getting shellacked by Hugh Darvish is a good pitcher, but his ERA away from Petco was like an 8 ERA, and yet he looked like Cy Young on Thursday. Urias Friday night he looked dominant. But again, too, you got to take your tip of the cap. It's the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the best team in the National League, and right behind them is the Padres. You know what I mean? Right. So between those 3 teams in the West, they're brutal.
Right,
you know
and you're right.
And we got 3 coming up soon with the Giants too. This has been a really tough stretch. If you look at the Phillies schedule, since opening day till now, they've had a really, really tough schedule. I've been saying it all along. If they stay around 500, they're going to be okay, because the Phillies are not as great as they looked last week in LA, but they're not as bad as they've been looking either. You know what I mean? So the pitching's been there. If you would have signed up for the bullpen to look okay and the starting pitching to be okay, you would have signed on for it, because the bats are going to come around. The bats are going to come around.
Yes and no, because last week you put up 46 runs. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Compare this week where you only put up 4 runs.
Yeah, but Pat, look at the temperatures of where they were at too. They were in Southern California. They were in the high 80s, mid 90s. Hold on. Yesterday was the only day that it was over 85 degrees. Was the only day yesterday.
John, I walked around Commando the whole week. I walked around the Commando. I had nothing else on besides pants.
Come on, dude, it is way too. Look, you see this coffee?
I'm just saying,
I'm not even finished my coffee yet, and stop with the metal images.
Pat wants to add his special cream to your coffee.
Bingo. But John,
I'm good. No, thank you. I'm not into baby food.
What I take away is the same thing, Mike. You take Harper out of that lineup, and it completely deflates it. It's like the guys. It's I don't know what it is. It just the link with Harper out of that lineup deflates them, and they look like how they did before they went on that West Coast trip.
Well, here's the thing too,
Segura. The pitching, you can't complain about the pitching. The pitching has come through. It's surprisingly, you would think the bats wouldn't be an issue, but it's the hitting. I don't.
Well, Segura too. Segura fell back a little bit too. He got caught with that illness, so. He's still not right. Reese has picked it up. I got to give it to Reese. We kill Reese sometimes about how
Reese is on fire right now. But listen, we all know how Reese goes. We'll get these couple weeks, and then we won't see him for like a month or two. So I'm already expecting for the deflation of Reese shortly. But I mean, yeah, without Harper there, man, this team has a lot of issues, and the more they keep losing these games now, it's going to kill them at the end. If it's a tight race at the end, these games are going to backfire on them at the end.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I agree because you know what, like just like the John says, you can check him out tomorrow at 6 p.m. Right here on the Devereaux program. He says, without Harper is definitely MVP. They are lost without him.
It's the same thing with the Sixers. You take Embiid out and look at that.
They're deflated.
They're deflated.
And this is what it's become too, because like I said last week, 46 runs. That's unheard of for this baseball team. That's what you expect to see out of this lineup. And now this week they get back home and we can't figure out at home. And by the way, it's mind-boggling to me because this ballpark is meant for home runs. Kyle Schwarber, other than yesterday hitting a home run, and and Saturday getting a couple doubles, he's been he'll swing at anything. I mean, he's been terrible.
And you got to put some of this blame on Girardi too. So
I agree.
So yeah, Girardi's on the hot seat right now.
Yes. I believe that. I agree with John there. I believe he is on the hot seat, but I think he's just going through the motions too. You got to remember too, the organization didn't give him a backing going into his final year this year. So I think it's kind of going through the motions.
I think so too. To me, sometimes Girardi just looks like, I mean, he's just out. Like he's like, it is what it is. Like he's got that it is what it is.
Yeah. And it's terrible. Like I said, for me, it's terrible because, like again, like I told you a few weeks back, this lineup. They're paper champions. I know. I mean, go back to opening day, man. Like we were jumping the gun, like we're going to the World Series, and with the way that lineup looked, like like on paper, we look like the best team in baseball with that lineup.
But here's the thing, though. Again, and I brought this up to you guys a couple weeks ago too. They need time to gel.
I agree with Adam. They
need time to gel. Like, listen, we're talking about this now, and we're looking at it going, hum. But who's not to say they don't get on a major roll come this summer? You know what I mean? There's a lot of baseball left. And
there is. But here goes the issue.
But hold on. You also got to look, too. Like, the Mets are falling back. Take a look at the Mets over these last – have the Phillies really lost any ground? No.
Yeah, but these games, you lose a lot of these games early. They're still going to catch up.
They may not. But, I mean –
I hope they turn it around. I mean, I hope somehow Harper. I hate to say this, but I actually think we're going to get to the point where Harper's going to be out this season. I can see it coming.
Well, right. Without him not taking that surgery and him just trying to get things.
Well, here's
done.
the thing: he can't hurt it any worse than what it is. It's already torn. So with him,
I heard he's going to have the Tommy John surgery.
No, it's not. It's
that's what they were. Version. That's what they were saying on the radio that he was.
It's a similar version of the Tommy John, but it's way less.
Because Didi, after he had it done, he wasn't good after he came back from it for a while. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, first of all, I want to say good morning to Junior Evan. Thanks for checking this show. My man was checked in. Yes, he was checked in heavily on Thursday on the throwback video games. But here goes John. Here goes Joe. He agrees with Adam about Schwarber. Too inconsistent. He's like a Rob Deere back in the day. Listen, like I said, they did. Now they're in third place. They're 8.5 games out. It looks like now the division belongs to the Mets.
But it's not. It's way too early.
I'm telling you. And here goes the problem. It might not be all, Girardi here, but it looks like, and I told you this a few weeks back, they're paper champions. Every year at the beginning of the year, we get so hyped about this offense.
How could you not be excited about the additions that they made?
I know, and I was.
Nobody crowned the Phillies champions. Nobody. Everybody kept saying that the division still had to go through the Braves. Okay, and I'm sorry, but yeah, the Mets are hot, but they haven't played nobody. They really haven't.
Well, the good thing about the Mets is, for my buddy Art out there, we all know how their season usually ends. Typically,
right? And dude, they just lost Max Scherzer. Just lost Max Scherzer. So now you got your two starting pitchers. Their two top pitchers are out. There's no timetable on DeGrom. Scherzer just got hurt.
As long as each series we can win 2 out of the 3 games, we'll be okay. But if we keep losing these series, only winning 1 out of 3 or getting swept, we're going to be done.
But I mean, you got to look at it. Like, let me ask you a question, though. Honestly, if you guys would have looked and said, "Hey, we got 7 games against the Dodgers. We're going to be 4-3 against the Dodgers this year," you guys would have signed up for that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, I mean, we still got 3 more with San Diego later on down the line. You know, I got a good feeling about it. I got a good feeling that this team's going to start hitting. Getting back to Girardi, like, I can definitely see them. If they're not at a point where Dombrowski thinks they should be, I could see them getting rid of them.
Like I said, I hope for the best for this team because they need it. Like I said, drop into 3rd place. And look, but going yesterday, you're hitless after the 4th inning. Hitless. It's not good. I mean, you got in the beginning, it was looking good. I mean, look at your old Phillies again. Last week, Phillies rather. Yeah, Gene Segura hit got a home run. Well, no, you got a hit with an RBI. You got Alec Bowman hit a 2-run shot. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber with a home run. And Nola put up 9 Ks. So, again, I think you're right about this, Mike. And you and I don't agree ever. But I will agree with you on this. People are shortchanging Aaron Nola to be the whipping boy of the city. And
yeah, I told you, he was due for a bounce back this year. He really was. And I love the way he's pitched. I'll tell you another guy who's been pitching really good, too, is Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson's been pitching really good. Eflin and now Zach Wheeler's starting to – he's finally out of what Girardi called his spring training mode. So now you got those 3. And if Eflin can ever get – I feel bad for him because I feel like sometimes when he goes out and throws a good game, the offense just don't show for him. You know what I mean? It was kind of like how Hamels was a few years ago. Remember that? Cole would go out and pitch a great game, but then only get like 3 runs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And like you said, he's not and Eflin's going to be on the mound today. He's not a bad pitcher. Like everyone has his look. He's perfect for the 3rd spot. He's perfect. It's I'm like I said, the starting pitching ain't too bad.
Well, he's actually the 4th.
Eflin is a solid 3rd pitcher.
Yeah, but he's actually the 4th on this team. Kyle Gibson's your 3.
Yeah, right. I was going about
those 2 guys. Those 2. I still think this team needs a top. A top 2nd. We still need a top 2nd pitcher for this team.
Well, like I said to you too.
That's why I'm hoping Reese can stay hot because I'm willing to move. If we can get a top 2nd pitcher, I'm willing to move him.
Right.
I'm willing to do it.
I don't know because to me, like I said, the problem this year is not so much on the pitching staff.
No, I know that, but it would definitely help if we.
You need a closer.
We need a leadoff hitter.
To have a closer.
Right.
We need
a leadoff hitter. That's what we need.
I agree.
Is Mike, not a leadoff hitter.
We haven't had a legitimate closer since Brad Lidge and Papelbon. That's last time we.
Yeah, but I go back.
I like Knubel though. I like Knubel. I would really try to re-sign him because I seen his stuff, dude. When he was with the Dodgers, that dude was nasty. He just got hurt, man. That's all, and that happens in baseball. Like I would really sign him. I think Knubel's are going to be okay. And I think Familia is going to be okay too. Again, this is that whole chemistry thing and learning where guys are learning their spots. Hand, like I would trade him tomorrow. I'm not sold on him at all,
Mm-hmm. But I want to go back to your point, and Mike, you just now this whole problem. They don't have a leadoff guy. They haven't had one since Rollins, and that's pretty bad. Like they haven't had a legit leadoff man, and Girardi's trying every which way possible to be a leadoff guy.
Really,
nothing's working.
The poor man leadoff is really a dude.
Right.
Actually, believe it or not, I like Segura in that leadoff spot. I think he brings a lot to it. I like him there. They've had their success with him being a leadoff guy.
Yeah, and right. And I said he had what, like 11-game hitting streak this week that just came to an end. Right. Why not? You need him because JT Remuto's been struggling at the plate. You can't go with him.
Dude, he's been struggling since he signed that contract.
That's what usually happens here.
But no, here's the thing, though. But JT's going to get hot. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a slow start, but he gets hot. And
Well, then I'll give him a pass. Well, he did have injuries last year, so I will give
yeah,
him
this
a
is
pass.
the first year in 2 years that he's healthy. So
Yeah.
And to me,
I think he's gonna turn it
But
around.
this all stems down to Harper being out of that lineup. These guys go flatline when he's out of there. It's like as soon as he's in, it seems like the
He brings the
connection
juice.
goes back in.
He
It's
brings
like
the
when you
juice.
unplug something. Yeah,
He brings the juice. It's like the Embiid effect, you know. He's in the lineup. All right, dude, the guy's back.
yeah.
You know,
It's like they get their and it's like a video game. They get their energy back.
yes.
Yeah.
I agree with Junior here. Good base stealer could be needed taking a chance with some speed.
listen, they got a good base stealer on the bench. Girardi's not using him right. Roman Quinn can run till he pulls a hammy.
Roman,
If you have him, let him run.
I hate Roman Quinn.
I'm saying,
I can't.
Listen, I'm not the biggest Roman Quinn fan in the world, but the guy is fast.
He's fast.
Bring
maybe
him
like
in.
using a pitch hitting situation, but this guy couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat. I mean,
Right.
he stinks at the plate. He stinks in the field.
He,
And then,
he reminds me of Steve Jeltz back in the late 80s. That's what he reminds me of.
wow. But I can't stand the guy.
Cow.
He's like, you know, like when I see him in a lineup, that's like to me, like if I'm a defense, you know, on defense, I'm like, I'm whispering to the other guy, automatic out. I mean, because that's what he is. He's just an automatic out. And speaking of defense, that's one of the problems this ball club has.
Well, we signed up for that. I mean, you knew going in our defense wasn't going to be too good, but you got to give Bohm a lot of credit. His defense has turned around. He stayed hot hitting at the plate. Remember, we were talking about whether this dude was going to be, you know, whether he was going to make the team or not. Well, there's our boy Sean Kilrain.
Yes, the novelist Sean Kilrain. Catch him Monday nights on the Gobler on the Solid Squad. What's up, guys? Odubel Herrera and Roman Quinn got the recent work for at the position. Herrera started hitting at 192 with just one walk and 14 strikeouts. Quinn was hitting 3 out of 4, 25. Wow, no walks and 8 strikeouts.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Roman Quinn, they got to start using him as a he's like remember how they used to use Bobby Dernier back in the day? Bob Dernier, he was with the Phillies like 4 different times in the 80s. That's what Bobby Dernier did. Bobby Dernier would come in and he would be your like if a guy drew a walk, Bobby Dernier would come in and steal 2 bases. Like that's what they need to do with Roman Quinn. They're going to look and say, look, you're going to stay on this team. You're going to be our base stealer.
Right.
I mean, kind of like a Dave Roberts. You know?
Right. Because you need him for a pitch hitter because you're not it's not doing him any favors at the plate. It's not.
Nah.
And it's not doing Girardi any favors. I mean, to me now, like you're kind of not too much in desperation mode, but you're 8 games out. I think you're like 4 games. Yeah, you're 4 games out of a wild card spot.
Yeah, but Pat, all that's reachable. Like there's so much baseball left, but you can't start looking at it now going, oh well, there's this many. I mean, dude, the Braves were 13 games out at the All-Star break last year. 13 games they were out, and they came back and won the World Series. So you can't all you got to just keep looking at what's in front of you. And like I said, they got 3 with the Mets coming up this week. After that, we don't see the Mets again until September. By that time, there's going to be different changes to this lineup. And I got a really strong feeling, and you're going to hear it from me first. I think the center fielder from Baltimore, I forget the kid's name. He's really good. I got a feeling that the Phillies might try to go and get him this year.
Well, they got to make a move, and this is a series. Okay.
Well, they tried in the offseason, but Baltimore didn't want to trade.
Right. And you're better on the road. You have to get away from this back point, or for whatever reason, we're struggling at home during this current time. Go on the road.
If you think maybe they're trying too hard at home instead of letting the game come to them?
You know what?
Because they seem more comfortable on the road.
You know what? You bring a good point to the show here because I think they know Simpson Bank Park is a small ballpark where they're going to try to crush the ball every time instead of trying to play fundamental baseball and being aggressive and trying to go for the base hits and all that stuff, where they're just trying to do launch angles and trying to get the ball out of here. I think that's what's hurting this team because everyone knows this is meant for home runs and it's meant for Rhys Hoskins to do what he needs to do and Kyle Schwarber. And, that's what you want to see.
I think those guys are trying too hard. The only guy I really don't see that his swing still looks natural from a year ago is Castellanos. Like his swing is just a natural swing.
Yes,
And
yes, and look, Harper still, he dropped down to because of his injury, he dropped down to the sixth best hitter in the league right now. You got guys like Machado, Aaron Judge, guys you expected to be ahead of him, which is okay, but he's like I said, he still plays at a high level, and like you guys were just mentioning earlier, without Harper, this team is deflated. They need him, and look, he's got to be a good presence in the locker room because it seems like when he's in there, these guys play hard with them, play hard for him, and there's nothing that this team's doing. They're obviously not playing for Girardi, because if they were, they would be trying a little bit harder. And
well, here's the thing: it's not about. I don't think it's not about not for trying. I just think that, like, to me, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like when it comes to Girardi, we got sold a bad goods because. Like, I was expecting it. Like, I remember watching him when he was, in New York, and that dude was a fucking loose cannon. Pardon my French, but he was.
Yeah.
If something went off, man, he would come out the dugout and start yelling. Dude, he is, like, so docile with the Phillies. It's, like, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, where's this guy that was in New York? So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that if he just looked at it as, well, hey, look, the organization isn't really behind me for this year, so I'm just going to go. Whatever happens. But I if they continue down this road of like losing series and stuff, and we're getting closer to the All-Star break, I can almost guarantee you, Dusty Rothman's probably going to be your manager.
Wow,
which isn't a bad thing. A lot of people look and went, "Oh my God, Dusty Rothman, the manager." He actually was the manager for some of these guys at Lehigh Valley when Lehigh Valley won the International League. He was the manager of the year down there. That's why he's been up on the main roster. Not a lot of people know that. So a lot of guys like Reese Hoskins, Alec Boehm, all these guys have all played for Dusty. And Dusty yelled off him anyway. So
that's what they might the Phillies might need to kick some life into them as a younger guy and somebody fresh. And it might and if Girardi doesn't get this together by the All-Star. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if the Phillies like we got to do something, And
a message has to be sent to the locker room. If his words are not falling,
and the players aren't coming out. Obviously, they're not going to come out and say anything. But I guarantee there's guys that are probably in that locker room that aren't really happy with Girardi.
Yeah.
Well, here goes one message from our main man Gus. Check him out on the Attacking Third every Tuesday night at 9:00. He says 28 hours, gentlemen. That's what we needed to focus on in the year. After we refused, how long do you give Girardi? Like me, Joe, and John. Mike and John are talking about. We're only giving him to the trade deadline, and then he's probably going to be
out. All-Star break.
All-Star break.
So listen, before, I do want to get into this a little bit though, just to shift gears here. I want to get into this last week, but we had so much to talk about last week. Mike, and I'm glad you're here because you're a great Flyersman. Flyers got the 5th pick, but to me, 5th pick, I know a lot of people ain't crazy about, but where do you think we need to go to start turning around? And I'm going to have, this is a 2-part question. One, where do you think we need to go? And now there's a list of, first, I thought Barry Trotz was at the top of the league, top of the candidates here. He's been getting interviews left and right. But now there's a list of head coaches are available for your Philadelphia Flyers coming in October. There's John Tortorella. I know you ain't a fan of him. There's Jim Montgomery, who was with Dallas. There's Peter DeBera. He was with the Golden Knights. So
I like, believe it or not, of course, everybody probably went Trotz is probably where they went. But I'll tell you what, the guy who's with Dallas, I would take him in a heartbeat too. Because
Montgomery.
Yeah. Was it Montgomery, right?
Yeah.
I would take Montgomery in a heartbeat because if you watch that Dallas team over the last 3-4 years, those guys they've gotten better. And the last 2 or 3 years, they were in the conference finals for the Western Conference.
I like the guy you mentioned from Vegas.
Oh, Peter Gobler. Yeah.
But he was able. What he did with them early,
yes,
was pretty impressive. And you know what? I'd rather have like a
A coach with a
like,
fire.
Yeah, like somebody like that. Rather than if you look at the Flyers' history, every time we bring in these guys that have won former Stanley Cups, with other teams and stuff, they I hate to say it, they never pan out here.
No,
the only guy who came close was Hitchcock came close, and then Laviolette.
No, it's funny you guys bring this out because they fired and like I said, people. I
remember we brought in Hitchcock. He was all the success he had. What did he end up doing here?
No, it's funny you guys. Yeah, here he goes. Here you go. We need a Dominic score trade hard because he's a burn. Wow. He says we need to try Dynamic score trade hard because he's burnt.
It's not burnt at all. He had no defense in front of him. He has no defense.
I agree with you, Mike. So here, like I said, let's get back to question one here. 5th pick, you're on the board. Where are you guys going? To me, I'm going to go with you, Mike. I need a defenseman. I cannot give on a
I'm taking the best defenseman. I'm taking the best young defenseman on the board. Whoever's the highest rated defenseman, you're now a Philadelphia Flyer.
But in hindsight, though, do you go defenseman or do you go to scorer? Because we lack on scoring.
No, because scorer you can pick up in free agency. Unless the number 1 pick for some odd reason drops, like whoever's what's the kid's name, Wright or something like that.
I like I said, yeah, right. You guys,
the kid who's supposed to go number 1. If he's a really good goal scorer, he plays up in the same league that has the Calgary Hitmen and
right. Well, Josh Harris is going to take him.
Who?
Josh Harris is going to take him for the Devils. Our Sixers owner. I mean, he's going to take him for the Devils.
Listen, that pick at 5th. I just want the Flyers to take whoever the best available player is. I don't care whether
you could do that. You could do that, but I mean, I would take
whoever the top player at that's left. You take that player. Stop trying to special guess.
But John, let me ask you: it say like the number 1 goalie's out there, you're going to pick him up, or you have to?
If he's the top player at 5. I'm going with whatever top player is available at that point.
I get what you're saying. Then you're going to be giving up on Hart. That's telling Hart something.
No, I ain't telling Hart nothing. You're picking. I mean, I see what John's saying. Instead of picking for need, you just take the best available player. But
every time we try to take these guys for need, they never do anything.
But here's the one thing and if you've been watching, I've been watching a lot of NHL Network and listening to some of these guys and what their projections are for the Flyers. Flyers got a lot of money to spend this year.
And the crazy thing is sometimes when you're the number 5 guy, history-wise, sometimes those later guys turn out better than the number 1
than the top guys.
We'll pan out. John, you make a great point. They will pan out because we took Nolan Patrick at 2 and not so much.
Listen, Nolan Patrick was on his way until he got hurt with his head. So that's a freak thing that happens.
Not according to Bobby Clark. Bobby Clark said he was not on his
Jesus. No, listen. I love them old Flyers. Come back, get your last bit of shine, and then go somewhere.
Let's be honest. Of them all. This Flyers team, it's a couple years of getting the right team together and the right coach because. I mean, obviously, going into next year, they may get a couple pieces, but let's be realistic. This team is probably going to be bad.
No, hold on, dude. They're not that far. They're not as far as you think. They are not that far.
Fletcher all of a sudden?
No, it's not that, but just take a look at some of the free agents that are out there, dude. If they sign somebody like a Chris Letang, and you bring a Chris Letang to come in here, now you have the guy we picked up last year who missed all the games and now decides
we got to get a sniper in that free agency. We got to get.
We can't.
The Flyers got the 3rd highest money to be spent on free agency this year. So they're going to be out. They're going to be
spend it in the right way and get the right guys.
Listen,
it's all about management and making the right moves.
It is.
That's what it comes down to.
But here's the thing, though. Everybody kills Chuck Fletcher. I kind of had a feeling like this dude had his hands tied when he got here because you look at all the moves that Ron Hextall made. Like, you think we all sat back and was loving that Ron Hextall was here. Look what he's doing in Pittsburgh right now, dude. Like Sidney Crosby's like, dude, what are you doing to my team? Dude, did you hear how much he offered Malkin? He offered Malkin like $5 million a year. It was like, take it or leave it. Malkin's like,
it's a bad ship. It's
so,
a bad ship out there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you got Letang.
I would
say,
yes.
I hate this.
So, I mean, so just stop and look at it for a second.
Flop.
They have Letang. He's a free agent. You got a few people. I mean, there's the free agency class this year is really, really good. And the Flyers have a lot of money to spend. So, but I think the one guy they need to get rid of is James Van Riemsdyk. They got to trade him somewhere. The only good thing is that big contract, it's only down to 1 year now. So they should be able to get rid of him.
And I totally agree with you. You know what the bad and sad part is? He was one of your top scorers of this year. That's pathetic. On a bad Flyers team, he was one of your better scorers. Him and Joel
hangs around the net, dude. He always seems to find to put the puck in the net. He
does.
It doesn't matter where he is, dude. Look, he left here as a young talent and went to Toronto and made his bones in Toronto.
Right. And here goes the John checking in. He goes, Flyers need a sniper in the worst way.
I think they're going to get one.
It was 100 years ago. And that's why I kind of get it. So I would imagine Joe would take a sniper and maybe a winger or looking for a new captain at this point. And speaking of, who do you think is going to be the new C?
Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes or Couturier?
I was going to say Couturier. I'm more leaning towards Couturier because he's more homegrown than Hayes.
Well, he is, but Kevin Hayes has also been, Couturier was out last year too, so I don't know. But I would leave it up to them too.
Right.
But you know what? And I think Travis Konechny's going to have a rebirth next year too. I don't think he's going to be in the same role that he was in this year and do what he had to do this year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think Couturier has more of a personality for the captain.
Yeah,
I would go with Couturier.
I would feel
because
more.
Giroux, I mean, let's be real, he really shouldn't have had that C.
Yeah, believe it or not, he actually. I would actually say he should have because he wasn't a guy. Giroux was never going to get in anybody's face. Like he wasn't that leader. A captain should be a guy that's going to be like, yo, man the fuck up. You know what I mean? Right. I get what you're saying, John, because you're looking for somebody.
I want somebody that to be a captain. I want somebody like a Harper mentality.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
And I get what you're saying because look at him now with Florida. He's not the captain. There's no pressure.
There's no pressure on him. That's why he's doing.
He's
great
going off. He's going off.
The perfect fit for him to go to a team that was already good, where he doesn't have to be the main guy. It's the same thing with Nola here, where everybody wants Nola to be the main guy, and I think there's so much pressure with him with the Phillies, and that's why half the time he struggles because he's got it in his head that he's got to be this number one pitcher.
Yes,
you know what I mean. So, like, the best thing for Giroux was to go to a good team because now you see he flourished, just like when Andre Iguodala went to the Warriors.
Yes.
That was a perfect fit for him.
Yes, and that's
because what did the Sixers do? They tried to make him the main star.
And look, and maybe we should have this conversation next week. Maybe we do put a lot of pressure on our stars to sink or swim.
But I want a captain on the Flyers that's going to get in somebody's face. These Flyers teams are soft these past couple years. Like we don't have any. There's
because
no
the game's changed.
Yeah, but
the game's changed. The game's changed, guys. You guys, I love you, but you guys are stuck in these 80s.
I understand that.
90s.
But you can still. I know the game's changed, but you can still have a guy that's going to get in. What are these guys that soft? They can't handle somebody. With critique.
John, fighting is down 90% of the league. It's down. Like there's no more bruisers on your team. There's no more.
To be honest, I don't like this new version.
Okay, but I understand I don't like it either. I used to love watching Ty Domi and Dave Brown fight.
I love those guys. Or the guy who's the guy on Buffalo. He couldn't stand him on Buffalo.
Oh, Barnaby, Matthew Barnaby.
Yeah.
Matt Barnaby.
Like I miss those.
Those guys are done.
To have those guys.
Yeah.
But they don't have them anymore. There's nothing. There's nobody like that no more in the league. Everything now is just, the physicality of hockey's down.
I know they took it away.
Well, to rewind a little bit from a couple of years back, people were begging for Wayne Simmons to be the new captain because if you're just like you say, you guys are talking about that blue collar roughneck going kind of fist fighting no BS mentality. Wayne Simmons, fits the
Simmons is
bill.
probably the last of that
I'm not
generation.
saying you have to have a fist fighter, but I just want some guy that when things are going bad to step it up, to call out players.
Yeah, but with the Flyers at the time when you have and it going to your point, when you have a captain goes kind of, and let's be real, when he goes MIA, it does. I'm not going to believe in this team if my captain's not going to perform either.
That's what I mean. You need a guy.
And I see Couturier being that because he's been a few years. He's been the best 3-way player in the league. Last year he kind of fell off. But that's what you need. You need that, and look, have him as your cap. But to me, and I agree with Joe, you need a sniper. You need a sniper. But
they're available in free agencies, bro.
Right, and I'm with
free agency. So right now with that 5th pick, you got to get yourself somebody that's NHL ready that you could have up in probably a year, maybe 2. But you can't have these 3-year projects. I'm sorry, I feel like they've dicked around Morgan Frost forever.
Yes.
Morgan Frost needs to be up on this Flyers team and leave him up here.
I agree with you, Mike.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
These defensemen that they have up in Allentown, they need to bring these young guys up. And I thought they started doing that towards the end of the year. You started seeing some really good, young, talented defensemen that we do have. But the problem is they got to learn to play together. So the Flyers are not that far off. They're really not. People think that they're they got to blow it up and read it. They're not that far away. They're not.
It all comes down to management making the right decisions. That's what it comes down to. Getting the right free agents and drafting correctly. That's why I said I don't care what that best player is at 5. Take that guy. Stop trying to say, oh, well, we need a score. A lot of the times when you draft for need, it doesn't work out. So just go with whatever best is available at 5.
Yeah, well, we got a couple comments. Junior checks in. As a leader, you have to back it up. You can't just give to anyone. You need someone who's loud and for someone to great to follow. I agree with Junior on that. We were just mentioning earlier. Here goes Al Safiri, from EOP. You can catch him 9:30 Wednesday nights. He says you need a ready-made star and someone to build around. Mike, you brought that point up. And maybe that's who they can get. And you were saying, you get Kevin Hayes if he could show back his, when we first got him, he was on fire.
Kevin Hayes, you got to give a mulligan to this year, dude. His brother died before the season started. That dude's head wasn't in it. You lose your brother, man. Last thing you're worried about doing is playing hockey. You know what I mean? So I give him a mulligan for this year. That dude, listen, last year or the last time we made the playoffs, that dude was the only guy who showed up.
Right.
So for me, Kevin Hayes gets a mulligan pass for this year.
Right.
But like I said, there's a lot of free agents out there. The Flyers have a lot of money to spend under this cap. They've already came out and said they're going to do what they got to do. The problem is now we got to wait and see who they're going to have as their head coach.
Right. And, so let me get back to the 2-point question here with you, Mike. So one, what position are you taking at 5? And like Joe Sullivan says here, there should be a good defenseman at number 5. So would you go defenseman or a sniper right now?
I would go for a defenseman because defense can come up through your system quickly.
Right.
You know
okay. Right.
But I would get a stay-at-home defenseman. I'm not getting this guy like Provy who likes to run up and down. A stay-at-home big body defenseman that you come in, I'm going to clean your clock.
Right.
That's what the Flyers are missing on defense.
I agree.
I still think you can sign a guy like Chris Letang. You come in, you can pair him up with Ryan Ellis. There's your number one, there's your number one defense. There's your number one blue line right there.
If Ryan Ellis can stay healthy. And number 2, here it goes. And you want, if all the coaches are available, you want to go Barry Trotz or Jim Montgomery, right?
Yeah. I mean, Trotz is defensive minded. Montgomery, I love what he did with Dallas, man. He was able, and here's the thing too. You got to remember, NHL, certain guys like to play for certain coaches. Dallas has a pretty good squad. You know what I mean? They make the playoffs every year. They're always around the cup hunt. If you can get a couple of those guys to come here because Montgomery's here, and Montgomery's a former Flyer too. A lot of people don't realize that he's a former Flyer. So
and so The last person on the list you do not want is John Tortorella, correct?
No, he is a cancer. That dude is a clown.
Hey, is there any young coaches from like Tampa Bay or Florida available?
Oh,
actually, you know who
coach.
I like the bench coach from
I wouldn't
Toronto.
mind bringing in a young guy from like Tampa because Tampa's a winning organization, man. It seems like every other year.
Yeah, but just because they won cups doesn't mean they're going to come here and do something.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it helps.
You got to look around, man. Like there's people all over the place. I'll tell you right now, Ottawa's got a few got a few coaches.
Even
that are
out in Colorado is a great organization. Is there maybe somebody from Colorado you could bring in? I'd rather have a younger guy, to be honest with you.
The light bulb goes on and John Brain starts to work. How about that?
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, he had a thought. No, but
Al Safir checks in. He says the problem also is there's so many needs for this team. Where do you start? They're 4 years away before they think about sniffing the playoffs. I agree.
Look, they're not that far.
Year, 10 losses in December, 13 losses in February. Chuck Fletcher shouldn't be here. Nobody should be here. Mike Yao gone. Gritty gone. The bathroom guy's gone.
Papinard gone.
Papinard banned. Wait, that's me. Anybody dealing with that organization should be banned after this year. So
stop.
On a 23-game losing streak, and it's.
You know what I'm thinking about it?
Can somebody mute Pat's mic?
You know what I'm thinking?
Mute his mic.
You realize since Gritty's emerged, this team has just gotten worse and worse.
Yes,
and he might be the bad luck.
And can I say something? He's not funny when this team stinks. Okay, I'm not sitting there like, oh yeah, look at Gritty. Yeah, he's dancing with his belly.
Mike loves Gritty.
Yes,
damn Skippy. I'm gonna get him tattooed on my chest.
Everybody likes when his belly. Everyone likes when his belly squeaks. Look, his belly's not squeaking.
No, but what I'm come
funny.
on, you're sitting there bringing up all these like losing streaks. Dude, listen, they checked out, man. Like they did. I mean,
they were.
The message wasn't getting through. I'm sorry, but like I wouldn't have been listening to Mike Yao either. And like I disagree with Al. They're not that far away. When you got guys like EJ Raddick and Kevin Weeks that come on there and they're showing you like the Flyers are not that far away from where they need to be. You know what I mean?
Right. So here goes one from Al. He goes, the culture is a big problem. I agree there. They need a complete rebuild, and it's not Grady's fault. Yes, it is, Al. He's become the attraction of this Flyers team. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
No, hold on. Here's the thing. All right, they keep, and they keep saying we got to get rid of this culture. What do you think they did when they went out and got friggin'? What do you think they did when they went out and got, what's his Fletcher? They changed the culture. Because it all used to be, one old Flyer after another old Flyer. So They did. They're going outside. They're trying to change it.
Right.
And now see, Al agrees with me there. The team did check out. They checked out the last 2 years.
And look, I get the Chuck Fletcher. He was really trying to make some big things last year. He got rid of Voracek. We all signed up for that.
Thank God. And what did Voracek do?
Nothing. Like, what do you call him?
The human Zamboni. He sucks up. Dude, the two main old Flyers that sucked up more ice than anybody was Voracek and Rod Brindamore. Every time he got a breakaway, he got hauled down, sucked up more ice.
Him, Ghost. I was all signed up to get rid of Ghost. I mean, so I can't say the moves that Chuck Fletcher made were horrible, but the stuff that he got returned didn't pan out, and that's what happened. But look,
like I said, Ryan Ellis is still kind of out there. Like I listen, he was the top defenseman last year that was available on the market, and the Flyers went and got him. It's just that he got hurt. So hopefully, like I said, if they go out and get Chris Letang this year, I think if they get Letang, you're going to see the Flyers defense will get a lot better. And Letang's, like John said, that guy who'll get in your face. Letang's that dude. Letang will get in your face, and there ain't nobody going to be hitting your captain like that. Look at all the times he protected Sidney.
I was gonna say, look, and look where he's come from. He's come from Pittsburgh and spent multiple years with Crosby, and that's what you need. You need someone like that in the lineup. So look, I like I said, you and I, we could talk Flyers all day long. We love that.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's talk about the other big signing here in Philadelphia sports. John Bradbury to the Birds from the Giants.
Bradbury. How did you mess that up? It's James Bradbury.
I put my underwear on backwards, so don't be surprised, okay?
You sniff your underwear backwards.
Oh,
well, other guys' underwear. I meant nothing.
Oh, God. Uncle Eddie over here.
So, anyway, Bradbury to the Eagles. Guys, everywhere I look, everywhere I go, everywhere I see, everyone's saying
solid move, man. The quarterback position is
everyone's sticking their pants and hitchhiking underneath the covers. I'm not.
Of course you're not.
Yes. Bradbury is huge.
Listen, all the missing link now, you got to just get a safety, and we're set.
Yes.
Hold on, Pat. Just one quick little programming note. I just got an email, and believe it or not, all day today on NFL Network, it's all Eagles today.
Wow.
Everything. So if you guys want to get your Eagle on, they're actually showing the Miracle of the Meadowlands right now as we speak.
What are they showing?
They're showing all Eagles games all day long today. Greatest Eagles would be on.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's
like it's all Eagles all day long today. So if you guys are getting sick of watching,
we got a Giants fan checking into the program. He says, as a Giants fan, I'm okay with y'all picking him up. Wow.
Listen, the cornerback positions are solidified now. We haven't had cornerbacks since Lito and Sheldon. That's the last time we had legitimate cornerbacks, and so I'm happy with the move. I just need them to get a safety.
I'm about to bring that up.
Can you imagine if they were able to bring in? If they brought Honey Badger in too, oh my God! If they were able to
Jesse Bates.
If you see Sean Kelrain's here, he goes, when was the last time that we had cornerbacks this good?
Lito and Sheldon, yeah.
Lito and Sheldon.
Same with before, and in the history, you look back at the history, the Eagles have always had decent cornerbacks. You go back to Eric Allen, Bobby Taylor,
yes,
Troy Vincent. Yeah. Troy Vincent. So I'm happy, and it's definitely going to help that defense.
So you guys, are they winning the division?
I hands down they're winning the division.
Wow,
hands down they will win the division.
Wow, you got the Birds winning the division.
Yep.
Mike, what do you say?
I say 11 and 17.
I got them going 13-4. I got them going 13-4.
11 and 6. 13-4 is too high.
That's your opinion. My opinion is I see 4 losses on their schedule.
But you both got to win the division.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I do. But we're going to sweat it for a minute because as our schedule starts out,
Mike,
that's soft.
Let's bet a cheesesteak. I say 11 and 6. You say more than.
Okay,
11.
so no. You have it at 11. Anything 11 and under, you win. 12 and over, I win.
Okay, deal.
You're on. And, so
you're right. Listen, well, look, we heard it first. Lunch is made at Pat Steak.
This is the one I'm talking about right here.
And I'll get you a cheesesteak. I'll get you a cheesesteak.
Hold on, John. I ain't worried about your damn cheesesteak. We're talking about Jesse Bates here.
John's getting hungry and horny.
If they get this kid Bates, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Like they're going to win the division if they get this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And so now, and now checking in says, "Oh, good. A Giants fan is okay with the pickup. Who cares what the Giants fan thinks? I have never been."
Al, take it easy, dude. That's my kid.
That's true, you're Al.
That's my kid.
Here it goes. Damn, Lee. Now the Eagles are going to lose to win 5 games. He goes. We have. Here goes Evan again. Checking into the program. We have Aaron Rodgers. He's exactly what we think. Wow. Okay. So what do you guys think? Like I said, I'm not worried about the Giants. I think they're still in a rebuild. Look, they got Jalen Jones. Look, I'm not saying too much about having Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but you got to be careful though, because they got Tyrod backing up Daniel Jones, and Tyrod can come in and win some games.
Dude, I'll tell you this. I'm pumped for this season, man. I can't wait till training. We got what July. We only got a couple months.
Yeah.
Kicks
Yeah,
off.
training camp's end of July this year.
I agree with Joe. This is it. Kind of does remind
It's got
me of
remnants of it,
2017.
but we got to wait and see how this
We got
offense
it. All
looks.
depends on Hurts too. Like I said,
Yes.
I'm not a Hurts fan, but I hope he does well. I don't think Hurts is the answer for this team, but I'm willing to give him a shot and see what he does.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, I gotta, a lot of people think that they're gonna use those 2 first-round draft picks on a quarterback next year. They're talking about Stroud and Bryce
Hey,
Young.
if you can get if there
either
really
one of
is a legitimate top quarterback coming out next year, and you're able to do it, I would do it.
You already got your
Wow.
top quarterback sitting right there waiting in the wings, Carson Strong.
Yeah.
The Eagles were actually smart. They actually went out and got this kid. There's a reason they went out and signed him as an undrafted free agent.
Oh man,
Listen, it's going to be a battle. With as good as the Eagles are, our division. Like I'm not taking the Redskins because I honestly think Carson Wentz is going to do good against us.
So Junior's pretty much saying we're overhyping this pickup because he said
Well,
Brad
listen,
Brady was ranked
and
60th
this is
in
what
the
I'm going to say to my son because he's not on the wrong side of 30 because he's
Hold
only-
on, time out.
he's only
Is Junior
27.
taller than you?
What's that?
Is Junior taller than you?
Yeah, I don't care. I'll still kick his
Well,
ass.
you can't put him in. I'd be careful.
Wait,
So-
that's your son?
Yeah, that's my son.
Why is he a Giants fan?
Because his aunt corrupted him.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And you didn't put a stop to that?
He's got to make his own decisions in life.
right,
if he
right.
wants
Hey,
to
Why
root
did
for the
you
wrong
disown
team-
her?
What's that?
Why didn't you disown her?
I can't disown my kid, dude. Listen,
No,
my
your
dad.
aunt.
Oh well, it's his aunt, not my aunt. But
there's
listen,
a difference.
listen, my dad and my uncles were all Cowboy fans,
Oh
and
my
I came out an
God.
Eagles fan.
Jesus.
I followed my
Thank
grandfather.
God
so-
you're not. Thank God you saw the light.
Yeah, but anyway, no, I got to correct him on this. One, he's not even 30 yet, and two, he's going to be playing in a defense that isn't going to make him cover a wide receiver for 6 minutes.
Wait, one quick
The Giants
question.
had no pass rush last year.
One quick question, Mike. Why is your aunt a Giants fan?
His aunt,
No, his aunt. I'm sorry. Why is his aunt a Giants fan? Is she
I have
from
no
the-
idea. It's from his mom's side.
Oh God.
It ain't bad parenting. Like, I love all these dudes just because my son's not an Eagles fan. Get over it. You can root for whoever you want. These are all the same dudes that are probably rocking 49ers gear in the late 80s.
I know. I mean, so
She probably liked Jeff Hostetler's mustache back in the day.
Maybe. I don't know.
well, here goes one from him, from Sean Kilrain. We lose to Washington and Wentz.
I don't see us losing to Washington. I really
First
don't.
of all, I kind of I agree to disagree with Sean. I think we lose to Washington, but by the time we play, time the Washington's got to come up to here, he's going to be injured. That's just
Yeah, I'm seeing that too, but I don't think he makes that game here at the Link. I really don't. I think he'll be knocked out before then.
That's my man Al. He's just joking. He's just joking around. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I like the signing. It's definitely an upgrade what you needed. I get it. Junior saying have him. He don't care.
Well, they got that young rookie, so that's this whole thing about Bradbury getting cut by the Giants. It was a money thing. He was making too much money. If he was making less money, he'd still be on the Giants.
I mentioned this last week on the show. I agree here. I think Washington's going to be sneaky good. I get it. I just think that Carson's probably going to be hurt by game 6. You know what I mean? That's just how Wentz goes. Unfortunately, I mean, but he's not a bad quarterback. I still
he's
like
got weapons in Washington now, though.
Yeah,
you figure he's got Samuels, he's got Terry McLaurin, and he's also got now he's got Jahan Dotson.
Joe's agreeing with Al here. We got your Junior's already checking for next year. Like I said, so that might be on paper wise. So we're not even paying attention to the Cowboys anymore. Everyone's now paying attention what the Commanders are doing.
Listen, and no shot at my boy Paul Spencer with his for his team, but they've lost a lot. And the guys that they have coming in, that like you're replacing all pros with rookies. Like that, it never
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but like they're talking about this kid's going to start a tackle or guard, their number one pick. Dude, he's going to get that killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and here's the thing: the Cowboys had a really good receiving corps last year. You figure 2 of their 4 wide receivers are now gone.
Yes.
So let's see. Like, and I even said this to our boy Paul. I let him know. Like, look, listen, you ain't got Amari Cooper taking on that number 1 cornerback anymore. So let's see if CeeDee Lamb can do that now. You got Michael Gallup
because he's going to be
coming
the main
back off of
target
an
for them.
ACL tear. Michael Gallup's coming back from ACL tear. How good's he going to be? And you let Cedric Wilson leave.
Right.
And Randy Gregory leave.
He's going to be your main talent for, the main target for them. So again, you know what I mean? So they know where they're going to go with the rock. It just, to me, like I said, I think it's going to be a battle between the Birds and Washington. It just, to me,
well, no, Dallas is going to be there. I mean, you can't sell Dallas short. They're going to be there. But I think everybody keeps saying there's a 2 team. I do think it's 3, but I think Washington's going to fall off as the year goes on.
Right. Like I said, to me, it's only a matter of time before Wentz gets hurt. His usual, something's going to go bad on him. Because for some reason he can't stay healthy. But if he's healthy at 100, we see what he can do. But like my brother's not totally sold on him either, because my brother said the same. He's like, look, he had all this talent out there in Indy, and he really, but he was putting up.
Yeah, but he didn't have a bad year with Indy though. Go back and look at his stats for Indy, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure he only threw like 3 interceptions or 4 interceptions or something like that. It wasn't a whole lot of interceptions. He just did them at dumb times, is what happened. Like trying to throw the ball left-handed, trying to make stuff happen.
Right, I agree. And now you got to remember what but we're just talking about the teams in the division. The Cowboys got to have the hardest schedule out of the whole division coming up, because they obviously won it. So you have to figure it's going to do them no favors heading into the new year. So I'm just trying to get up their schedule and take a look of who they got, what they got to go through compared to us. Now we all agree that the Eagles, for the most part, on the opener and on paper.
Well, on paper, I mean,
we haven't made,
and all the hard games are here at the link. Like a lot of the win teams. Yeah.
Yes, I noticed that too. Like last year, we had to go to places to have hard games.
Yeah.
This year, a lot of our hard games are at home, and we have 9 home games.
Yes. Yeah. So here goes the Cowboys on opening day. They got to go down to.
No, they got Tampa at home.
They got Tampa at home, but no, they got to go. They got to go to Tampa. No, I'm sorry. Yes,
they have Tampa and Cincy at home.
Yeah, they got
Cincy at home.
Tampa at home, but no Tom Brady, so that's a dub. Probably a dub.
Yeah, it is.
So they got to go to Cincy, right? That's probably an L for them.
No, Cincy's in Dallas.
Yes, you're right. Cincy's
the first 2 games are Tampa at home. They play Tampa, and then
I think Tampa beats them.
So do I.
Right. Then they got to go.
I think they start out 0-2.
Right. Then they got to play the Giants up in New York. That's another
win.
job.
I think they win that game.
So you're looking at so far,
1-2
for them.
1-2.
1-2. Oh yes. You got to then you got to play Washington down there.
I think Washington wins.
Really?
I think they split with Dallas this year. Yeah.
And then they got the Rams.
That's a loss. That's in LA.
Right. Then they got to play us.
That's here. I think that one's going to be a loss too. Like that's what I'm saying. Dallas is going. The beginning of their schedule's bad, bro.
Yeah, it's doing them no favors.
I got them going like 1-5 to start out. Like seriously.
Well, if they go 1-5, then you don't have to sweat them for the division.
No. Look at the back end of their schedule, bro. The back end of their schedule gets really nice for them. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL.
All right, so let's here we go. So if you got down to the last 4 games, or their December games, if you look at it, you got they got Houston, they got Jacksonville, they got us, they got Tennessee, and then they got Washington again.
The only hard game there is Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee beats Dallas. Yeah. Tennessee beats
but
them.
like, like there's like they're
But still,
beginning
they
of their
got
schedule. I mean,
yeah, they
look,
got Green Bay.
They could beat the Giants and Washington and be like 2-3 going into that Eagles game, but it's going to be hard. Like I don't see them winning, the first two. I mean, especially not Cincy. Cincy's going to light them up.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, but look, I like the signing of the Birds. Quick last thoughts. I like the signing of the Birds. The Flyers. Back to the Flyers talk real fast. For me, I got them going defenseman. I got them taking. Like you said, whether it's Barry Trotz or Jim Montgomery, or even like Lieb said, I would take Peter too, from the Golden Knights, and to touch back on the Phils, I think it's an L today because you got I think they're just in a.
Nah, I don't think it's going to be an L. They're not going to get swept at home.
No,
I think they win today.
they went today. And what's the meal today? Are you going to watch the game? First of all, what game are you watching today? Is it NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, or are you watching this Phillies and Dodgers?
I don't know yet. Whenever I feel like watching. Today's a lazy day, bro.
Yes. I think today is Carolina and the Rangers. But unfortunately,
I might watch that and then turn over to the Sills later. And the Philadelphia Stars play later on today too, so I might check them out.
The Philadelphia Stars.
No, they were on yesterday.
Were they on yesterday? I thought they played today.
Yeah, no, they were.
I gotta take a
They were
look.
playing. They were on TV. Yesterday.
I didn't take a look, so I'll be down at the game today. Thanks to my man Joe for hooking me up some tickets.
Oh, look at you, big high roller.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, hey, look, fixing paddles will get you somewhere.
John hooked you up with tickets?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, look, me and him were like.
Hey,
this.
Pat, I'm gonna do a plug real quick if that's cool.
Go ahead.
How many times do you have to bend over for those?
About 3. Yeah, after hours.
All right, guys. Look, listen. Thursday night I kick off a new show. My new show. It's called Big Mike's 444 Sports Locker Room. I'm going to be on.
Hold on, is it a meat locker room?
Out of the Box Sports Network. Matter of fact, my first guest is actually going to be the John.
All right.
Make sure you tune in Thursday night at 7. Or I'm sorry, Thursday night 8:00. Thursday night, and it's Out of the Box Sports. So make sure you check me out. Anybody who's been on here, come on. We're going to be discussing. We're going to go division by division. Me and Joe. We're going to go division by division to see what key matchups we want to watch this year for pro football.
Yeah, well, look, like I said, we're just about out of time. Like I said, we have a couple new shows starting today. We have today's our last day with Breast and Body Slams. They will be moving off from our network. They're going to another one. We have a bodybuilding show going to be starting today. So my buddy John Loudon, a longtime friend of mine, he's going to be doing, and my buddy Eric, they're going to be doing a bodybuilding show today at 11. And they also got Chris is returning with Gus's brother Gonzalo. They're going to be talking modern day video games. And we started a new video game pod on Thursdays for throwback games. We talk old school video games. So if you are a fan of Atari, Nintendo, and Sega,
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, we were talking Punch Out this past week. Matter of fact, Junior
my best game ever on Nintendo was Super Tecmo Bowl.
Yes, well, we talked about that.
that
Junior was checked in. We talked NBA jams. This week, we're going to spend an hour. If anyone in the 90s grew up playing GoldenEye, that was the game of 64 for a whole. That was the game of the decade. So, like I said, we were.
Don't forget about the Legend of Zelda, man.
And Legend of Zelda. We got No Pants Dance 99, featuring John Lee. But anyway, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll check you out later.
Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.